The Sennheiser Accentum True Wireless earbuds represent a new kind of move from Sennheiser. They aren't trying to dethrone the flagship Momentum True Wireless 4. Instead, they aim to bring premium audio, reliable performance, and meaningful features into a more affordable, practical tier. It's for listeners who love Sennheiser's sound but don't necessarily want to spend flagship money. So, the question is simple. How much of the Momentum experience does the Accentum actually keep? And more importantly, what are you giving up when you save that extra cash? Let's start with what you see first: the design. The Accentum True Wireless is simple, matte, and compact. There's no fabric finish, no flashy metal, no luxury for the sake of it. Instead, it feels deliberate. Clean lines, solid plastic, a sturdy hinge, and earbuds that feel light but well-built. It's practical design done right. The case is small enough to slip in any pocket, and the lid closes with a satisfying click. Depending on your market, the case supports wireless charging in addition to USB-C, which is always a welcome feature. The earbuds themselves carry an IP54 rating, meaning they're protected against dust and splashes, more resilient than most budget models. You can safely take them on a jog through light rain or into the gym without worrying about sweat. That's a small but important upgrade for people who use their earbuds daily in unpredictable environments. Fit and comfort are decent, but not flawless. The Accentum sits somewhere between compact and chunky. They don't protrude dramatically, but they aren't the slimmest in the lineup either. Sennheiser includes multiple ear tip sizes, and once you find the right fit, the seal is excellent. The nozzle is slightly short, so smaller ears may need to adjust positioning to get optimal bass and ANC performance. Over longer sessions, they're comfortable enough, though not quite as feather-light as some competitors like the Sony LinkBuds S or Nothing Ear 3. Under the surface, you're getting Bluetooth 5.3 for stable, efficient wireless connection. Pairing is fast, reliable, and rock-solid once established. Multipoint connection works well, letting you stay connected to two devices simultaneously, like your phone and laptop, without manual switching. Codec support covers SBC, AAC, aptX, and LC3, which gives you flexibility whether you're on iOS or Android. Latency for video playback and light gaming is low, and you can easily switch between devices mid-session without interruption. Let's move to what really defines a Sennheiser product: the sound. The Accentum True Wireless uses Sennheiser's 7mm True Response dynamic drivers, the same driver size used in their flagship models, though tuned differently. The sound signature here leans toward warmth and energy. The low end is full, punchy, and controlled. It doesn't reach subwoofer depths, but it adds body and rhythm to most tracks. Vocals sound natural and present, and treble clarity brings out detail without being harsh. Where it differs from the Momentum True Wireless 4 is in depth and refinement. The Momentum 4 has a wider soundstage, greater dynamic range, and a more layered mid-range. You hear more air around instruments, more subtle micro-details in vocals, and slightly better imaging. The Accentum, by comparison, feels more intimate and direct. It's lively, enjoyable, and perfect for daily listening, but it doesn't quite give that cinematic, open sound you get from the Momentum line. Still, for its price point, it's remarkably well-balanced. If you want to personalize your sound, the Smart Control app gives you full EQ customization, presets, and even sound zones that automatically adjust ANC or transparency based on location. It's intuitive, well-designed, and one of the better companion apps in the industry. You can remap touch controls, switch between ANC modes, or tune the EQ in seconds. The controls themselves are sensitive, but customizable enough to minimize accidental touches. Now let's talk about ANC, active noise cancellation. The Accentum True Wireless includes hybrid ANC that does a respectable job cutting down everyday noise. It's effective against low, consistent sounds like AC hums, engine rumbles, or chatter on public transport. It's not the most powerful cancellation out there, but it's a big step up from typical mid-range earbuds. The adaptive transparency mode is particularly good. It sounds natural, not artificial, and it allows voices and ambient sounds to pass through clearly. You can walk down a busy street, hear announcements, or have a conversation without removing the earbuds. Battery life is another area where Sennheiser tends to deliver. The Accentum True Wireless gives you around 7 hours on a single charge with ANC enabled, and about 28 hours total with the case. That's solid, especially considering the compact form factor. A 10-minute quick charge gives you roughly an hour of playback. Wireless charging, where available, adds convenience for users who already use keypads. The Momentum True Wireless 4 edges it out slightly with a longer combined battery life and faster charging speeds, but the difference isn't huge. Call quality is decent. Indoors, voices sound clean and natural. Outdoors, wind and crowd noise are handled adequately, though not perfectly. You're not getting flagship-level beamforming clarity, but calls and voice chats remain intelligible. For most users, it's more than serviceable. Now, let's compare the Accentum True Wireless directly to the Momentum True Wireless 4, because a lot of people will be deciding between the two. The first major difference is the driver tuning. Both use 7mm true response transducers, but the Momentum version has a more refined tuning curve. The Momentum 4 focuses on detail retrieval and spatial accuracy. It gives you that sense of instruments existing in a real space around you. The Accentum, by contrast, aims for energy and punch. It's slightly more bass-forward, with less separation in the mid-range. For casual listening or bass-heavy genres like EDM or hip-hop, the Accentum's sound is exciting and immediate. But if you prefer balanced reference-grade tonality and layered clarity, the Momentum True Wireless 4 is on another level. Second, the ANC system. The Momentum 4 employs a more advanced adaptive ANC algorithm that continuously adjusts based on your environment. It cancels out low-frequency hums better and handles dynamic noises like trains or chatter with more consistency. The Accentum's ANC is static. It's solid but not as reactive. For commuters or travelers, that difference might be noticeable. If you're in quieter or moderate environments, the Accentum still does a fine job. Third, fit and design. The Momentum 4 looks and feels more premium, with metal accents and a slightly sleeker profile. The Accentum goes for lighter materials and a simpler finish. In terms of comfort, both are secure, but the Momentum edges ahead with slightly better ergonomics and more consistent fit for extended wear. However, the Accentum's lighter weight can be an advantage for users who prefer something that disappears in the ear. Fourth, features and future-proofing. The Momentum True Wireless 4 includes Bluetooth 5.4, aptX Adaptive, aptX Lossless, and future LE audio and auracast compatibility. The Accentum sticks with Bluetooth 5.3, aptX, and LC3. That means the Momentum supports higher bitrate transmission when paired with compatible devices, an edge for audiophiles or creators using lossless streaming. The Accentum still delivers great sound, but not at the same technical bandwidth. Battery life slightly favors the Momentum again, with around 7.5 hours on the earbuds and over 30 hours with the case, compared to Accentum's 7 and 28. But both offer fast charging and similar real-world endurance. Call performance also tilts toward the Momentum, with more advanced mic arrays and wind noise suppression. Still, for most users who just want clear calls and voice assistance, the Accentum is perfectly capable. Where the Accentum really wins is value. It costs significantly less while retaining the Sennheiser character, that warmth, clarity, and natural tone that sets the brand apart. It's for people who want an authentic Sennheiser experience without entering the premium bracket. The Momentum 4. True Wireless, on the other hand, is for users chasing the best, the widest stage, the most advanced codec support, and the cleanest signal path. The Accentum gives you 80% of that experience for a fraction of the price, and that's where its charm lies. If you were to visualize it, the Accentum is the daily driver, the earbuds you wear to commute, to work out, to relax. The Momentum 4 is the showpiece, the set you reach for when you want to focus, analyze, or experience your music at its purest form. Now back to the Accentum alone. What's the real-world experience like? After a week of use, the performance feels cohesive and well-rounded. Connection stability is top-notch. ANC toggles instantly. The app syncs without lag. And the earbuds remember your settings across devices. The interface feels mature, not experimental. Battery drain is consistent. And the charging case feels reliable enough to survive daily toss-ins into a bag. These aren't the kind of earbuds you need to think about. They just work. However, a few limitations remain. The ANC, while good, doesn't compete with Bose or Sony in heavy noise scenarios. The sound, while warm and satisfying, doesn't have the layered finesse of the Momentum. And comfort will depend on your ear shape. Some people may experience slight pressure after long sessions. But none of these flaws are deal breakers. They're just signs of where Sennheiser drew the line between flagship and practical. So who are the Accentum True Wireless really for? They're for the listener who values sound first, who wants a reliable pair that doesn't overpromise or underdeliver. They're for commuters who need dependable ANC, for workers who hop between devices, and for anyone who just wants to enjoy music without constant adjustments or app gimmicks. If you're coming from cheaper earbuds, you'll immediately notice the jump in quality, in tonal balance, build feel, and connection stability. If you're coming from the Momentum line, you'll recognize the Sennheiser DNA, but also the trimmed-down edges. In many ways, these earbuds remind you that good engineering doesn't always have to cost a fortune. In the end, the Sennheiser Accentum True Wireless nails what most users actually want: balanced, enjoyable sound, real comfort, reliable features, and enough polish to feel premium without the premium price tag. It may not chase the extremes of flagship performance, but it delivers something arguably more valuable: consistency. If you're building your first high-quality wireless setup, this is an excellent starting point. If you already own high-end headphones but need something for everyday use, this is your perfect second pair. And if you're deciding between the Accentum and the Momentum 4 True Wireless, ask yourself one simple question: do you want the best that Sennheiser can make, or the best that makes sense for daily life? Either way, you win, because in the world of true wireless audio, very few brands manage to balance sound quality, comfort, and real-world value quite like Sennheiser. And the Accentum True Wireless proves that perfectly.